Welcome to our cozy corner of tales and adventure, where the magic of far-off lands comes alive. Tonight, we're traveling to the enchanting realm of Scandinavia, a land of wonder and myth, where the gods and goddesses of Norse legend roam free. In this mystical world, we'll discover the secrets of the Apples of Idunn, a treasure that holds the key to eternal youth and vitality. Let's begin our journey through the frozen landscapes and ancient forests of Norse mythology, where our story starts.
The Apples of Idunn, Part 1. One fine morning, the three gods, Odin, Hunir and Loki, set out on a journey to a faraway land. Being gods, they had a great many things to attend to, and had travelled together many times to fulfill their duties. But more often than not they fell into trouble because of Loki, who was the happiest when he was involved in mischief. Loki was not only a troublemaker, but he was also malicious, which meant that he found great joy in hurting others. When the gods travelled together, they travelled hard and fast. No mountain was too high for them to climb, no sea was too deep, no valley was too wide for them to conquer. They thrived on challenges, whether it was doing hard work, facing a fierce storm, or overcoming relentless struggle. Hence, as they travelled, they did not take the road, but climbed the highest mountains, walked through the deepest valleys, and swam through the iciest rivers. As they walked, no bird dared to fly past them, nor did any animal walk on the same land. And so the three gods walked and walked, but they got tired and hungry with each step they took. The sun was slowly setting behind the mountain peaks, but the gods had not breakfasted or eaten any meal that day. Even Odin, the mightiest of gods, felt hunger pangs like any other mortal. Suddenly they came upon a flock of sheep in a valley that they had entered. In a minute they had prepared a meal for themselves and placed it in a large pot over a roaring fire. The hungry gods waited for the delicious smells to waft from the pot and for their meal to be ready, but the pot would not boil. They piled more firewood so that the flames crackled and burned fiercely, but still the pot was cool to the touch. "How can this be?" exclaimed Loki angrily. "We have done all to make this pot boil, but it will not even warm up. Are we to be hungry all night?" As soon as he had spoken, they heard a voice from the top of the oak tree under which they stood. "I can help you boil your pot if you give me my fill of the meal you are preparing," said the voice. Surprised, they looked at each other and then looked up to find a great eagle perched on top of the oak tree. The gods were so hungry that they were prepared to agree to anything, and they swiftly agreed to give the eagle his fill if only he would get their meal ready. The eagle flew down from its perch and quickly had the meal ready. Then he picked up a very large share of the meal prepared for himself, as the gods had promised that he could have his share. Seeing this, Loki was very angry. He hated it when someone else got more than him. He picked up a large stick lying close by and started hitting the eagle unmercifully. As he was doing so, one end of the stick got stuck in the sharp talons of the eagle, and Loki was stuck to the other end. No matter how much he tried, he couldn't pry himself loose. The great bird flapped its wide wings and lifted off from the ground and took Loki with it. As the bird flew over the treetops, Loki was dragged on the ground, hitting every rock, stone and branch on the way until he was hurt very badly. Loki begged for mercy and asked for the bird to release him, and found out that the great eagle was no ordinary bird, but giant Thiassi, who had been travelling in his eagle plumage when he came across the hungry gods. The giant would not be appeased till Loki agreed to give him what he asked for. "Bring me the golden apples of Idunn, the ones that the gods and Asgard prize above all things," said giant Thiassi to Loki, "and you will be set free." Seeing Loki's hesitation, Thiassi carried him and dashed him against every jagged mountainside and dragged him through branches of the great oaks until Loki was bruised and bleeding and willing to heed to Thiassi's order. Goddess Idunn and her husband Bragi lived in Asgard. Idunn, with her beautiful flowing golden hair, was known as the goddess of youth, and Bragi was the god of poetry. Idunn was responsible for the god's youthful looks and vitality. She grew golden apples of immortality in her orchard, placed them safely in a golden casket, and fed them to the gods every morning during breakfast. The apples were Asgard's most treasured possessions, as the gods would lose their youth and beauty if they did not eat the apples. When the three travelling gods returned to Asgard, Loki wondered how he could steal these apples away from Idunn. He knew she guarded them day and night and would not allow anyone near them. It was a beautiful sight when Idunn's hand spread the apples during the feast every morning. But Loki was a trickster, and he usually got his way because the gods were good and did not understand trickery. He also wanted to trouble the gods and take away their youth. So one day Loki made his way to the orchard where Idunn grew her golden apples, but made it look as if he was just passing through. This brings us to the end of episode 1. In episode 2, we get to hear if Loki is successful in stealing Idunn's apples, and if the gods lose their youth and immortality because of it. The end.
As we conclude the Apples of Idunn, remember that true strength comes from within, and the power of friendship can help us overcome even the most daunting challenges. To explore more enchanting stories from our Norse Stories collection and cultures around the world, download the Storywaves app from Apple or Android app stores. A Storywaves subscription costs less than $1 a month, making it one of the most affordable ways to bring quality stories to your family. All new stories are available on the Storywaves app, where you'll find the most exciting content, including exclusive tales that can't be found anywhere else. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow Storywaves on Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify for updates on upcoming content. Thank you warmly for watching.